Chanapalava Girivaradari Gopi Chanapalava Girivaradari Yashanandana Rajana Ranjana Yashanandana Rajana Ranjana Chamanatira Vanachari Chamanatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kanja Vihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakti Vrindavan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakti Vrindavan Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Stuta Sadashi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All glories to the Assam devotees. All glories to the Assam devotees. All glories to the Assam devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Ganga. So since today is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, we have a verse here from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vandenanta Bhutaishwaryam Shri Nityanandamishwaram Yasyechaya Tat Sarupam Agena Pinirupyate Vandinantat Bhutaishwaryam Shri Nityanandamishwaram Yasyechaya Tat Sarupam Agena Pinirupyate. Chant.
Vande Ananta Bhutaishwaryam Shri Nityanandam Ishwaram
Yanam
Yashechaya Tatsarupam
Shekshaya Tatsrupam
Kenapi Nirupyate
Api Nirupyate Vedantat Shayam Shanam Shekshaya Sarupam Napi Nirupyate Shanam Sarupam Napi Nirupyate Venantat Bhutaishwaryam Nityananda Ishram Tatsrupam Nirupyate. Ladies, Venantat Bhutaishwaryam Nityananda Ishram Shekshaya Tatsrupam Agena Nirupyate Shayam Shri Nityanandamishram Shekshaya Tatsrupam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Let me offer my obeisances to Lord Shri Nityananda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose opulence is wonderful and unlimited. By his will, even a fool can understand his identity. Mukam karali vachalam bhangam yangalheganim yakipam tavam bande shikurunti natavinam Om Gyanat Mirandasya Gyananja Shrakaya Chakshumaritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So I'd like to share with you one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 15th chapter, verse 45, which...
15:45.
Oh, okay, you can put it up there, if anybody's there. 7:15:45. Yavan vikaya ratamatma vashyapakatpam Tatye garishta charanarchanaya nishatam Gyanasim achatva balodhatad astashatru Svanandatush da upashanta idam vijayat. Translation: as long as one has to accept a material body with its different parts and paraphernalia, which are not fully under one's control, one must have the lotus feet of his superiors, namely his spiritual master and the spiritual master's predecessors. By their mercy, one can sharpen the sword of knowledge, and with the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's mercy, one must then conquer the enemies mentioned above. In this way, devotee should be able to merge into his own transcendental bliss, and then he may give up his body and resume his spiritual identity. So you might wonder, what are the enemies? That is lust, anger, greed, etc., etc. Mada, moha, and matsarya. And this Supreme Personality of Godhead mentioned here is actually Nityananda Balaram. It's Nityananda. So we have to look at the Sanskrit in order to understand how this is Nityananda. So in the Sanskrit, it is said, Gyanasim Achyuta Bala. And so Gyanasim means the sword of knowledge. Krishna gives us the sword of knowledge. Gyanasim, so that's the third line. And Achyuta, so that's Achyuta. Achyuta, Krishna gives us Gyanasim, sword of knowledge. Bala, that's Balaram, Nityananda. By his mercy, we get the strength to hold the sword of knowledge. So today we need the mercy of Balaram to hold the sword of knowledge. We can pray for his mercy because we all need that help. The sword of knowledge is very heavy. You speak the truth in this world, you are enemy number one. So we need that mercy. And so he's in the purport of this verse, it talks about how the mercy, the spiritual strength is coming from Nityananda. I go down. I'm not exactly reading the whole purport, so you have to look for it. Its significant word is Achyuta Bala. So the spiritual master is certainly very merciful to his disciples, and consequently, by satisfying him, a devotee gets strength from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, there we go. Supreme Personality of Godhead. So again, that is Nityananda. He is giving us strength to follow the instructions of the spiritual master. And that's the knowledge, the sword of knowledge, the light in this world is the instructions of spiritual master. So then you go down a bit more. Simply getting the weapon of jnana is insufficient. One must sharpen the weapon by serving the spiritual master and adhering to his instructions. So this is somewhere in the purport. So another part of the purport, I don't know if you can find it. Significant in this verse are the words, Gyanasim Achyutabala. Gyanasim, the sword of knowledge, is given by Krishna. And when one serves the Guru and Krishna in order to hold the sword of Krishna's instructions, Balaram gives one strength. Balaram is Nityananda. Vrajendranandanache Shachi Shutta Hoiloshe Balaram Hoilo Nitai. This Balaram comes with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, one may very easily take shelter of their lotus feet. They come especially to deliver the fallen souls of this age. Papi tapi chato chilo hariname utarila. Their weapon is Sankirtan, Harinama. Thus one should accept the sword of knowledge from Krishna and be strong with the mercy of Balaram. Therefore, we are worshipping Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. One cannot attain the goal of life without the mercy of Balaram. Shri Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Nitya karuna chabe, braje radha Krishna pabe. When one receives the mercy of Balaram, Nityananda, one can attain the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna very easily. Shesham bandana hijar, vitacha makelatar, vidyakuleki kari betar. If one has no connection with Nitai Balaram, then even though one is a very learned scholar or Gyani, or has taken birth in a very respectable family, these assets will not help him. We must therefore conquer the enemies of Krishna consciousness with the strength received from Balaram. So, the sword of knowledge is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, but also in Bhagavatam, it says, if we hold this sword, by holding this sword, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. So the sword means to remember Krishna also. Remembering Krishna will cut through our karma. And I was just lecturing on Bhagavad Gita chapter 8, Attaining the Supreme. How to remember Krishna. How to remember Krishna. If you look at the purports of chapter 8, Bhagavad Gita, 17 times, Srila Prabhupada says, chant Hare Krishna. That's how you will remember Krishna. So I did have and I lost, under anesthesia, I forgot everything. But after I forgot everything, the holy name came in front of me like a screensaver. And then I started chanting and I remembered who I was again. So even if at time of death you may forget Krishna, Krishna won't forget you. He'll come to you. So Nityananda formerly appeared as Lakshman and served Lord Ram as his younger brother. But the activities of Ram were full of suffering. But Lakshman tolerated it. As a younger brother, he could not stop Ram from his resolution, so he remained silent, although unhappy. And so he was unhappy at Kaikeyi, Dasharath for sending Ram out of Ayodhya. And at Ram, he was angry for banishing Sita, and he had to take Sita to the forest. It was him who had to do the dirty work. And he even banished Lakshman, too, at the end. And so Lakshman was not happy. And so one time in childhood, Nitai was absorbed in Lakshman's mood. They were doing a drama. One boy came to Nitai and he said, I'm Ravana. I'll discharge my Shakti Shila weapon at you. Avert it if you can. Lakshman? Then the boy threw a lotus flower at Nitai. And Nitai fell backwards, unconscious. And the boys tried to wake him, and he was just lying there without consciousness, not a trace. And his friends were just holding their heads and crying. His mother and father came, and they saw him, they fainted. And so then one person got the idea. He said, I think I understand the reason for Nitai's loss of consciousness. Previously, one great actor expertly did the role of King Dasharath, and who died when his son Ram was banished. When the actor heard of Ram's separation, when he felt the separation, he actually left his body. So before the drama, Lord Nityananda told the boys, if I fall unconscious, you go around me and cry, but after a few moments, send Hanuman for medicine. And bring the medicine, and I'll come back. And the boys were shocked. They forgot. They forgot what he told them. So then the Hanuman went, and he picked up the whole mountain, and he brought it, and the doctor put it to his nose, and Nityananda came back. And so he was, and his parents said, "Where did you learn these different dramas?" And Nityananda said, "Yes, these are all my transcendental pastimes." And so that was Nityananda in his childhood. So therefore, the next incarnation, he became Balaram, the elder brother. The younger brother Krishna had to listen to elder brother Balaram. Not like before when he was the younger brother. He had to listen to Ram. So now Krishna had to listen. And so it's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shri Chaitanya say Krishna Nityananda Ram. Nityananda Purnakari Chaitanya Rakam. Lord Chaitanya is the same Krishna. Lord Nityananda is Balaram. And Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. So there are 3 different relationships of Nityananda with Lord Chaitanya, just like there are 3 different relationships of Balaram and Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Kabu Guru, Kabu Saka, Kabu Pritya Lila, Purvejanatin Pavi Rajikwala Kela. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as Guru, sometimes as friend, and sometimes as servant, just like what Balaram did when he was with Krishna. One example of being a friend, they were playing like bulls, fighting with their head-to-head, Krishna and Balaram. And sometimes Krishna comes and massages Balaram's feet. So that's Guru. Sometimes Balaram thinks, I'm a servant. And we'll talk about that a little later with Nityananda. So sometimes Balaram was tired. And he put his head on the lap of a cowherd boy, and Krishna would massage his feet. So that's Guru. And another time, as servant, he got bewildered when Brahma stole all the cowherd boys. And he got bewildered by Krishna. So Balaram said, who is this mystic power? Where has she come from? Is she a demigod or demoness? She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna. Who else can bewilder me? And he went as a messenger to the Kauravas. What is the value of a throne to Krishna? The masters of the various planetary systems accept the dust of his lotus feet on their heads. That makes the holy places sacred. Even Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, and I eternally carry that dust on our heads. So how is Nitai Guru? Well, after Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, then Nityananda broke Lord Chaitanya's danda into 3 pieces. Because he understood he's a supreme Lord, he doesn't need a danda. Why should he carry a danda? As a friend, they were eating together, dancing together. Sometimes Lord Chaitanya would catch him. Nityananda would catch Lord Chaitanya when he was in ecstasy. And as a servant, he went door to door preaching on Lord Chaitanya's order. So it is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 13:15, Agyapai duijane bule kare kare, Bolo Krishna gao Krishna, Bhajaho Krishnere. Being ordered by the Lord, the 2 went door to door, requesting everyone chant the name of Krishna, sing the glories of Krishna, worship Krishna. Krishna prana, Krishna dhana, Krishna se jivan, Hana Krishna bala pai hoi ekamon. Krishna is your life, Krishna is your wealth, Krishna is your life and soul. Oh, brothers, chant the name of Krishna with full attention. So they would go door to door, Prabhupada said, I only request you chant the names of Krishna, worship him, and follow his teachings. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Loho Krishna Nam, Krishna Mapta, Krishna Pitta, Krishna Dhana Pran. Say Krishna, worship Krishna, chant his names. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, and Krishna is your life and soul. So one time they met Jagai and Madhe, and they had to run for their lives, and Haridas. Nityananda was the Sankirtan partner of Haridas Thakur. And Haridas complained to Advaita about his Sankirtan partner. He said, the Lord has sent me out with an extremely restless person. I know I had one partner like that going to the airport in Bombay. She would jump onto the conveyor belts to distribute books. I have that experience too. So the Lord has sent me out. If I go in one direction, he'll go another. He would jump the crocodile-infested, swelling monsoon waters and embrace the crocodiles. I stand on the bank shouting for him to return, but he ignores everything and floats downstream like a dead man. If he sees a young boy on the banks, he gets up and goes shouting angrily after the boy. And the boy's parents arrive with sticks and they want to beat me, and I have to plead and beg with them. He steals butter and cream from the milkman and runs away, and I get caught. They want to beat me. He's always doing crazy activities. If he comes across a young maiden, he asks her to marry him. He sits in a bowl shouting Mahesh, and if he sees a cow, he milks her and drinks the milk. When I try to advise him on his activities, he mocks you, saying, "What can that adroit of yours do to me? And that person you call Chaitanya, what can he do to me?" I repeat nothing of all this to Lord Chaitanya. Today, I was saved only by the Lord's grace. These two drunks, Jagai Madhai, were lying in the street, and he went up to them and tried to preach to them about Krishna. They were enraged and charged at us, and we were saved from death only by your mercy. And so Advaita said, this is nothing special for Nityananda. An intoxicated person should join other drunks. He's drunk with Krishna prema, so he should join the other two. As a renunciate devotee, you have no business in such company. I know Nityananda's character and ability. He'll make everyone intoxicated with divine love. Wait for a few days. He'll bring those two also into the fold. So, Nityananda is the original guru. And guru is representative of Nityananda. It is said in Bhagavatam, Acharyam mam vijaniyam navamanyeta karhichit namartyas bhutya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. One should know the acharyas. Myself, never disrespect him in any way. Don't envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he's representative of all the demigods. And so, yes, in a purport of Adi 146, Prabhupada said, in all the ancient literature's devotional service, and in the more recent songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and other unalloyed Vaishnavas, the spiritual master is always considered either one of the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Nityananda Prabhu. And so the Guru must follow the footsteps, not imitate him by jumping in the Jamuna and try to catch crocodile, or Ganga. That was Ganga. Ganga River. I'm in Vrindavan. So no, but we follow the instructions. Yeah, Prabhupada didn't tell us to do stuff like that, crazy things. Yeah, one time, my son, when he was younger, like 11 years old, he said, if Prabhupada told me to jump off the roof of the house, I would do it. I said, well, what about if he told you to chant 16 rounds? Would you do that? No. He'll jump. That's easier. That's more difficult than jumping off the roof. Yeah, one time he was living in his car at some point in his life. When he first went to America, he didn't have a place. He was living in his car, working at a mall. He had a bunch of keys for the mall and his car. And one night, he lost the keys for the mall that he was working and the car. And so he said to Krishna, okay, if you find my keys, I'll chant 16 rounds. So about 5 minutes later, the chokidar from the mall came and said, are these your keys? And then he chanted 16 rounds, but it took him 1 month to chant. Anyway, yeah, so just, these things are happening. We don't do crazy things for Krishna, but we just do normal things, which are not easy. Chanting 16 rounds, following 4 regular principles. That's the instructions we have to follow to please Prabhupada and Lord Nityananda. So, I have another wonderful verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 5204. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanaravinda Jahoite Painu Shri Radha Govinda. All glory to the lotus feet of Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Shri Radha Govinda. So all you worshippers of Radha Govinda, in order to get the mercy of Radha Govinda, you have to worship Nityananda. You have to worship Nityananda. Here it said, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanaravinda Jahoite Painu Shri Radha Govinda. In the purport of that verse, Adi 5204, when Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is famous for his poetic composition known as Prarthana, has lamented in one of his prayers, when will Lord Nityananda be merciful to me so I'll forget all material desires? Yes. Srila Narottam Das Thakur confirms, unless one is free from material desires to satisfy needs of the body and senses, one cannot understand the transcendental abode of Lord Krishna of Vrindavan. He also confirms that one cannot understand. That's not the verse, no? Maybe I got the wrong number, huh? No, I said Adi 5204. 204. Adi 5. He also confirms one cannot understand loving affairs of Radha and Krishna without going through the direction of 6 Goswamis. Another verse, Narottam Das Thakur says, without the causeless mercy of Nityananda, Prabhu, one cannot enter into the affairs of Radha and Krishna. Yes, very good. This is a wonderful verse. You can memorize it. It's easy to memorize and sing it today. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charanaravinda Jahoite Painu Shri Radha Govinda. That was a beautiful verse, glorification of Nityananda. So how does Nityananda and Gauranga, how do they help us in our spiritual life? What is our relationship with them? It is described in a very scientific way by Krishnadas Kaviraj in the first chapter of Adi Lila. And this is, verse Adi chapter 1, verse 94. But before that, there's another verse. But I'll sing that verse. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, that's 84. Okay, go to 84. We'll start with 84. Yeah, go to 84 first. And then we'll go to that one. Yes. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodita Gaudadai Pushwantao Chitta Shandautamonudao. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. So now you can go to verse 94. What happens when we contact Gornitai? We'll go to the English. English translation. All kinds of activities, both auspicious and inauspicious, that are detrimental to discharge transcendental living service to Lord Krishna are actions of the modes of ignorance. Okay, now to verse 95. English. By the grace of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, this darkness of ignorance is removed and the truth is brought to light. 96. The absolute truth of Shri Krishna and loving devotion to Shri Krishna exhibited in pure love is achieved through congregational chanting of the holy name, the essence of all bliss. Now we'll go to 97. The sun and moon dissipate the darkness of the external world, thus reveal external material objects like pots and plates. 98. But these two brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, dissipate the darkness of the inner core of the heart. So we bring Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda in our heart, the darkness goes. Now what's the first thing we see? Thus, they help one meet the two kinds of Bhagavatas, persons or things in relationship with the personality of Godhead. So we chant Hare Krishna, Gauritai come in our heart. We see the two Bhagavatas. We meet Guru and we meet the books, Bhagavatam. Now go to 100. Dui Bhagavata Dwara Diya Bhakti Ras Tar Hite Tar Preme Koi Bash. In translation, through the actions of these two Bhagavats, the Lord instills the mellows, transcendental loving service into the heart of a living being. So we get bhakti. From the two Bhagavatas, Gauritai come, we see the bhakti, and then what happens next, it says here, thus the Lord in the heart of his devotee comes under the control of the devotee's love. So this is the step-by-step action that happens when Gauritai comes in your heart. Darkness goes, Bhagavats come, Bhakti comes, they give you Bhakti, and then you get Prema, and then you control Krishna. So isn't that wonderful? So if we hear attentively Bhagavatam, if we chant Hare Krishna, Gauritai come in our heart, and this is what will happen. So today we can pray for that mercy of Nityananda, that they will come, he will come in our heart, destroy the darkness, and help us to progress to Krishna, Prema. So I will stop here, and would you like to start?
Take some comments or questions.
Questions, okay, I should have questions. Okay, yeah, up to you, Maharaj. Here's a question here.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thanks for the class. So question is, you said without Gaur Nitai's mercy and Nityananda's mercy, one cannot get Radha and Krishna. So my question is, in South India, I mean, wherever there is ISKCON, they know Gaur Nitai, but most of the South Indian temples as such, they don't worship Gaur Nitai. They directly worship Lakshmi Narayan or Narayan, whatever. So what about those people? Because they may not know even Gaur Nitai.
Very good question. Their goal is Vaikuntha. They are worshipping Narayan. And so their goal is to go to Vaikuntha, and they will achieve their goal. Our goal is to go to Goloka, Vrindavan. And in order to go to Krishna Loka, you have to worship Gauritai, we said Radha Krishna. In order to get the mercy of Radha Krishna and go to Vrindavan, you have to worship Gauritai. And part of Goloka is, Navadvip is part of Goloka. It's a part. And according to Brahma Samhita, it says some people who worship Gauritai will go to Navadvip in the spiritual world. Some people who worship Radha Krishna will go to Vrindavan. And some people who worship both will go to both places simultaneously. But the goal, yes, worshipping Narayan. They are worshipping Narayan, and it's true. They will go to Vaikuntha. That is their goal. They want to go to Narayan. That's wonderful. The spirit's Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. Yes. Any other questions? Of course. Panchagoda.
I gotta ask one question. One question. So Lord Nityananda, he's Krishna in one sense, that Krishna's expanding himself as Balaram, and he's expanding himself as Radharani, and many unlimited expansions, and also expanding himself as all the living entities as well. So as living entities, although, we're an expansion of Krishna, but we have a tendency of falling down and forgetting Krishna, whereas we say, like, Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful, Lord Nityananda is the most merciful, Srimati Radharani is the most merciful. So Krishna, he takes on different forms and performs different merciful givings, or maybe you can give a little reflection.
He takes different forms of mercy, yes. Radharani is, actually the Guru, I read from a purport, the Guru is representative of Nityananda or Radharani. So through the Guru, we get both, one or the other. By worshipping the Guru, Guru is also mercy representative. Guru is representative of mercy, expansion of mercy. And he gives us Radharani's mercy, he gives us Nityananda's mercy, both. And so by worshipping Guru, that's how Prabhupada says in the purport, you sharpen the sword of knowledge and you get the strength to hold it from Guru by sharpening. The sword of knowledge means following the instructions of the spiritual master. Then you get the mercy of it. But you have to work at it. You can't just sit and expect the mercy. Yeah, like Arjuna had to work for it. And so we do too. Yeah. Anybody else have a question? Okay, over there by the doorway.
Hare Krishna Mataji for the nice class. In Krishna Lila, Balaram used to do childlike things like stealing butter, playing with the cowherd boys. But when he appeared as Nityananda, there are childlike behaviors and childish behaviors in him. Yes. Like he went to spread Sankirtana movement with Haridas Thakur.
Yes, yes.
But when he would cross a river, he would try to catch the crocodiles and fight with them. Yes. And whenever he would meet the young maidens, he would give the proposal, would you marry me? Would you like to marry me? So would you like to put some light on it?
Yeah, well, he's also Avaduta. He does very different things that most people think are crazy. And I just was reading recently in, I believe, not Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati about Nityananda. That if you see Nityananda go to a bar or a prostitute house, you should not criticize him. He's going there to preach. So, but we cannot imitate Nityananda. We are not avadutas. Yeah. We are ordinary devotees. And we have to follow the rules and regulations according to nectar of instruction. Niyamakara. We cannot do whimsically. I have an example of one. There was one when I landed in Moscow. There was one driver of my car who thought he was above the rules and regulations of the road. There was a traffic jam, and he was driving on the sidewalk, where all the people were. And I said, I'm not in a hurry. Just go on the road. We can wait. And after I came to the temple, I found out his name was Yamaraj. So, but we should not do whimsical things and say, no, I'm a devotee, I'm not under the rules. And many devotees, in the early days, devotees were, they were stealing flowers from the, there's a story from Ritvidvaj Maharaj. Before he was a devotee, Vishnujan Maharaj came knocking on his door and said, could I have some flowers from your garden? He said, okay, sure. So then when that was in the night, he wiped out the whole garden, and then Ritvidvaj came and said, oh, my flowers are gone, completely. Anyway, devotees used to do stuff like that. Usually they wouldn't ask permission either. They would just do it. Anyway, just do it. But now we're more reformed, we're more peaceful, we're trying to follow the rules of society. We're not above the rules. Yeah, any other?
Thank you, Mataji.
Over here. So I'll go till 9 o'clock. Should I? How much? Okay. All right. Over here in front.
Hare Krishna. So, what will prevent one from attaining the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Gauranga?
What will prevent one from attaining the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda? Well, I would like to refer to His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, who gave 4 reasons why devotees leave the Krishna conscious movement. Number one, pride. If you're pride and you think you know better, and that happens. That happens. When Prabhupada was here, there was one devotee who was traveling with Prabhupada. He knew Sanskrit so nicely. Then he came to Vrindavan, and he started hearing from one Babaji. And then he started criticizing Prabhupada, saying, oh, you don't have a proper sampradaya, oh, you don't teach us the highest, this and that. And then Prabhupada cursed him. You won't find a guru for a day of Brahma. So he asked permission from Prabhupada to go to a different guru. And Prabhupada cursed him instead. So pride, and Prabhupada gives the story of a mouse. A mouse was being chased by a cat, and he went to the yogi, and he said, can you make me a cat? Yogi said, okay, be a cat. And the dog was chasing. He said, can you make me a dog? And then a tiger was chasing the dog. Can you make me a tiger? And he said, okay. And then when he became a tiger, he looked at the guru. He wanted to eat the guru. So that's what Prabhupada quoted in that regard, that now you have learned more than me. Now you want to eat me by your philosophy? Again, become mouse. So pride, and then lack of good association. Lack of good association, like Bharat Maharaj. His association was a deer. He left everything, but then he associated with a deer. Number three is lack of knowledge about the path of spiritual life. Just like we might be very eager and enthusiastic when we first join, and for some years it goes on, and then we get to the level called anartha nivritti. And that's the level when doubts may come. And you're not a pure devotee anymore, like you thought you were. And you start thinking, well, maybe I'm in the wrong movement. Maybe some other movement can give me better. Maybe I should just get a job. I gave my youth, but it's not too late. I can still enjoy. It's a lack of... And then aparad, offense. If you make offense, devotees, that can stop you from getting the mercy of Nitai. These four things were analyzed by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. Okay, any other? Oh, okay. Maharaj, shall we stop here? Jai, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. In the new one. I drank from it. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. You can switch this off, it's distraction. Screen, blanket. I'm a little allergic to one of the flowers there. You can put it on. Come on. Jai. Tatmatma Prabhu ki Jai.
He was trying not to be proud. He was trying not to be proud.
There's spiritual pride. You have to be proud. Spiritual pride is there. So today marks the most auspicious anniversary appearance of Sri Nityananda Ram. We'll just read several verses with the particular theme of our discussion today.
You don't want it on the screen?
No, it's distracting.
It's beneficial for us. We can see it.
He's not quick enough for...
Once he knows where you're at, then he goes right. He's very fast.
He's fast. Okay. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5, text 149 onwards. And I don't know. It's okay.
149.
He has to be conscious. Okay.
Don't pay attention.
All right. So we are Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 5, text 149. The chapter is entitled The Glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. It's nice because it gives you both names in together in the chapter, Lord Nityananda Balaram. I have to wait for him.
Shut it off.
Nice. So by the mercy of Panchagoda Prabhu, he has become more conscious. Okay. Nityananda Swarupa Purve Ahiya Lakshmana Lagu Brata Aya Kare Ramera Sevana. Translation. Lord Nityananda Swarup formerly appeared as Lakshman and served Lord Ramachandra as his younger brother. Next text 150. Ramera Charitra Sabha Dukkera Karana Swatantra Lilaya Dukka Sahena Lakshmana. The activities of Lord Rama were full of suffering, but Lakshman of his own accord tolerated that suffering. Text 151. Nisheda karite nare yata chota bahi monadari rahe Lakshmana manaduka pahi. As a younger brother, he could not stop Lord Rama from his resolution, and so he remained silent, although unhappy in his mind. Text 152. Krishna avatari jaista haila sevara karana Krishna ke karaila nana sukha ashvadana. When Lord Krishna appeared, he, Balaram, became his elder brother to serve him to his heart's content and make him enjoy all sorts of happiness. Text 153. Rama Lakshmana Krishna Ramera Amsa Vishesha Avatara Kale Donhate Pravesha. Sri Ram and Sri Lakshman, who are plenary portions of Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram respectively, entered into them at the time of Krishna's and Balaram's appearance. Text 154. Sehi Hamsalana Jesta Kanista Bimana Amsam Sirupe Shastre Karaye Vyakyana. Krishna and Balaram presents themselves as younger brother and elder brother. But in the scriptures they are described as the original Supreme Personality of Godhead and His expansions. Text 155. Rama Dimutti Shukala Niyamena Tistan Nana Vatara Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Sambhavat Parama Pumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Translation. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who by his various plenary portions appears in the world in different forms and incarnations such as Lord Rama, but who personally appears in his supreme original form as Lord Krishna. Text 156. Shri Chaitanya Sehi Krishna Nityananda Rama Nityananda Purna Kare Chaitanya Rakama. Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Krishna, and Lord Nityananda is Lord Balaram. Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. Actually, this text 156, which I just read now, is the actual text amongst many other verses that Srila Prabhupada have us understand why he has installed Sri Sri Gaur-Nitai here. This is the main particular text, text 156. Finally, we'll text 157, speaks more about Lord Nityananda. Nityananda Mahima Sindhu Ananta Apara Eka Kanaspasi Matra Sahi Kripatanhara. The ocean of Lord Nityananda's glories is infinite and unfathomable. Only by His mercy can I touch even a drop of it. Once one interviewer, he asked Srila Prabhupada, what is the goal of life? And Srila Prabhupada replied that the goal of life is to enjoy. It's quite simple. Yes. Now, the effort to enjoy materially through the mind and senses only leads to frustration and misery that everyone experiences. But spiritually one can enjoy in relation to devotional service, in relation to serving devotees, and in relation to chanting the holy names. And that pleasure, unlike any other temporary so-called happiness of the material world, is eternal. And then Srila Prabhupada explained that how one can realize how one can enjoy through the mercy of Lord Nityananda, because he broke the words down. Nitya means eternal, and Ananda means bliss. So in other words, when one comes into contact with the mercy and blessings of Lord Nityananda, then one can fully realize the eternal bliss of which we're always hankering for, which is the eternal goal to enjoy. Now, in the spiritual world, in relation to the Panchatattva and their pastimes, or in relation to Radha Krishna Lila, you do not work hard, or you do not have a goal to enjoy. In other words, you are enjoying and you don't know you're enjoying. There's nothing else. See? So therefore, when this question Prabhupada by the interviewer, what is the goal of life? And Srila Prabhupada said the goal of life is to enjoy. But when you're actually enjoying Krishna consciousness, there's no need for a goal, because you're enjoying unknowingly. It's natural. It's not something you have to work hard for. So Nitya means eternal, and Ananda means to enjoy, or the bliss of being in Krishna consciousness. So this group of verses, it describes Lakshman, it describes Balaram, and it describes Lord Nityananda. It comes in that sort of category. Yeah. Now, it is very clearly said in the particular verse I read that Lakshman was suffering like anything as the younger brother. And I don't want to get too much into the detail of the Ramayana. You're probably already aware of that. And then he eventually had to take Mother Sita back to the forest practically. See? And at that time he took a vow that no more younger brother. It's too much. I cannot tell my elder brother what to do. So better I become elder brother. And then, as the verse says, that Lakshman is entered into the form of Balaram and Ramachandra entered into the form of Krishna, because they are original. I just read some of these verses there. Now, as Balaram, he had a bigger problem. And the bigger problem is that as elder brother, he could not serve Radha Krishna. It's a problem. Because Krishna would say, you're not Chotabai anymore. The word is used here. You're my elder brother, so how can I take service from you? So Balaram had the problem. And at the same time, he could not serve Srimati Radharani. Like that. So he became very, very depressed. Balaram. He became full of anxiety. Like that. Although, the scriptures say, including in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Balaram expands as Krishna's pillow, he expands as the Sandini Shakti. You get Samvit, Sandini and Ladini Shakti, like that. See? So he expands as the entire Dham. But personally he cannot. Only by his energies these things are moving. Even as Krishna's pillow, as Krishna's flute, as the Dham itself. But he had a problem. He cannot personally serve. So he gets into deep depression. It's a spiritual depression. Nothing wrong with that. And when he enters into himself in his deep depression, this is explained in Gaur Gunadashtipika and Radha Krishna Gunadashtipika also, Srila Rupa Goswami. When he enters like that into himself, Balaram, to you could say, question why he has this desire. See? Because his first desire as Lakshman was not correct. Was not correct. And I can't do this anymore. I cannot serve Lord Ramachandra because I have to serve every of his order, and sometimes it's full of suffering for me. So that desire was fulfilled when he appeared as Balaram, and then now as Balaram, he has a bigger problem because his desire was fulfilled, but he cannot fulfill his own desire to serve Radha Krishna. So when he enters into that and questions himself, one expansion comes forth. And her name is Ananga Manjari. See? I'll just close my notes because to refer to it won't keep the flow. So as Ananga Manjari, she walks towards Radharani. See? And she appears to be like Radharani's younger sister. Because Balaram cannot directly serve Srimati Radharani. So when Ananga Manjari moves towards Radharani, a main service becomes applying sandalwood paste. The Maha of Krishna, she takes to apply sandalwood paste. So Balaram becomes sort of half appeased. It's like he's still depressed, but the depression has gone a little less. Now he's serving Radharani directly in relationship to Krishna in the form of Ananga Manjari. In the form of Ananga Manjari. So then, in his half-natured depression of not, you could say, sort of serving Radha Krishna, he loses it. He completely loses himself. And when he completely loses himself, then he appears as Nityananda Prabhu. This is an internal reason of why Nityananda appeared. He completely loses himself. Because Lord Chaitanya becomes Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Lord Chaitanya is non-different from the combined consciousness of Krishna Prem and Radha Bhav. Together becomes Lord Chaitanya. So Nityananda's, Balaram's desire is fully fulfilled when he humbly serves Lord Chaitanya, who is the combined form of Radha Krishna. Combined form of Radha Krishna. So I just summarized that from my notes. And Ananga Manjari is the original nature, who is in two features, which is Janava Mata and Vasudha, who become like the elder sister and the younger sister, become the consorts of Lord Nityananda. Ananga Manjari becomes that. This is just an overview, or very brief summary of these things. Now, as Grace Naryani Mataji was saying, Bolo Krishna, Bhaje Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha, that he was going to every home, Lord Nityananda, just to beg people, chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, and follow Krishna's instructions. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it's the very same message that Prabhupada gave, and Prabhupada came to impart to the world. That you chant Krishna's name, you worship Krishna, and you accept Krishna as your life and soul, and follow Krishna's instructions. Like that. And Srila Prabhupada is approaching people, which is a little different from Lord Nityananda. In Navadvip, West Bengal, in general, people who knew who Krishna is. But when Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world, began in New York City, in Lower Manhattan, the Bowery, people didn't know who Krishna is. That's a big difference. And Nityananda delivered one Jagaya in Madhai. Prabhupada walked into a place where practically everyone was like Jagai and Madai. There's another difference. See? So we can see that how Srila Prabhupada is actually a direct manifestation of the compassionate nature of Nityananda Prabhu. In other words, when the student excels the master is glorified. When the student excels the teacher, it is the mercy of the teacher that the student can excel the teacher. So this is Srila Prabhupada. It's quite amazing. In one place, in a letter, we cannot repay Srila Prabhupada as much as we cannot repay the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Srila Prabhupada wrote that if you feel at all indebted to me, then you should preach vigorously like me. That is the proper way to repay me. Of course, no one can repay the debt to the spiritual master, but the spiritual master is very much pleased by such an attitude by the disciple. That's his exact words. So Srila Prabhupada is at least the Shiksha Guru for all of us. There's no doubt about that. And those who were initiated by Prabhupada, they both, the Diksha and Shiksha Guru for them. So in order to preach, we have to also practice, and one must have spiritual strength. And that spiritual strength comes from Nityananda Prabhu, who is the original Adi Guru, and it comes through the mercy of our Srila Prabhupada. So that one particular devotee asked a question in the back, and Srila Prabhupada said that to approach Radha Krishna, you need the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And one disciple asked that, you need the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So then he asked, how do you get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya? And he said, then you need the mercy of Lord Nityananda. He said, how do you get the mercy of Lord Nityananda? Then Prabhupada said, then you have to approach people like Jagai and Madai. You'll attract the mercy of Lord Nityananda. So that's most important. You have any comments or questions?
What does it mean to approach Jagai and Madai? They're all Jagai and Madai, so what's the difference? Prabhupada said everyone's Jagai and Madai, so what's the difference? You said we have to approach Jagai and Madai. Is there some kind of mental preparation for that, or is that some kind of enthusiasm you need to muster up?
Yeah. The same question was asked to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada was asked a question by one of his disciples that when he heard that if you get the mercy of Lord Radha and Krishna, you have to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. In order to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, you have to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda. In order to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda, you have to approach people like Jagai and Madai. So you are asking the question, what does it mean to approach people like Jagai and Madai? And the devotee asked the same question. Prabhupada said, you know better than that. You were once like that, and you know how to approach them. Well, is it sinking in? I haven't finished.
Well, you asked the question, so I was going to answer.
So, when Lord Nityananda approached Jagai and Madai, he was also a drunkard. In what sense? Can you say? He's an avadut, he's a drunkard. In what sense? Nityananda is described as a drunkard. Because he's drunk with Krishna Prema. He's drunk with Krishna Prema, therefore he can give out to people So you have one type of drunkard, and you have another type of drunkard, and so forth. And Nityananda also ran after young girls. But these people were worse, Jaga and Madhe, they used to do all sorts of bad things to girls and ladies. So when Srila Prabhupada said that, he said, you were once like that. Says, therefore you are in a better position to approach people like that, because now you know more like that. See? You know more like that. So that's the answer he gave to him. Is that okay?
Okay.
But don't become like that again. Don't become like that again. Other comments or questions?
In the summer, I think in 75, when Prabhupada was traveling from Caracas in Mexico, Miami, Atlanta, there was a big, Gaur Nitai was on his mind, and he was feeling special mercy that Gaur Nitai were giving to all the conditioned souls. And it seems like Srila Prabhupada could barely even, contain his ecstasy of how merciful Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda were when Prabhupada went from Miami to Atlanta, Caracas, and every time he was saying similar things, right?
Read it. I wanted to conclude with it. Read it.
I don't have my glasses. I can't see.
Give it to me.
Give it to him.
He's explaining this. I wanted to conclude with this. It's one of my favorite short arrival talks that I hear constantly from Prabhupada. Can I read it? Yeah. This is arrival address, Atlanta, February 28, 1975. Prabhupada. So I'm very glad to see you, and I'm coming first of all, Mexico City. Devotee. Yes. Prabhupada. So Mexico City, then Caracas, and then he looks at the devotee. Devotee says, Miami. Prabhupada. Miami. So I see your temple is the best. We're talking about in Atlanta now. And the devotees say, Jai Haribol. Then Prabhupada. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very kind. Parama Karuna, Pahuduhi Jana. Two lords. Nitai Gaura Chandra. Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are very kind. You see, they have appeared just to reclaim the fallen souls of this age. So they are more kind than Krishna. Krishna, he is also very kind. He comes to deliver, but Krishna demands that first of all surrender. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even does not demand surrender. He is so kind. And then Prabhupada's voice chokes. He's crying. So take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be happy. Thank you very much. And Prabhupada weeps. He simply cries. Is that what you're speaking about?
You did a better job than me.
Well, I brought it with me.
Miami deities are exactly the same as in Atlanta, the Gaur Nitai brass, identical.
Nice. Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that was 50 years ago. Just 50 years ago. And of course I was fortunate to be there through all of those different cities with Srila Prabhupada. And in almost every city, when Prabhupada was on the Vyasasan, he went into ecstasy at one point or another, because every temple he went to, he kept seeing Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And from my perspective, I don't know, but he was seeing 10 years later, Krishna consciousness had been spread all over the world. And of course, Prabhupada, as he said in Caracas, they've traveled very far to be with you. And of course, it was Prabhupada traveling around the world 14 times, very far, to give Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda to everyone. And he couldn't contain his ecstasy. As you say, what you read there, that shortest lecture he ever gave, a 2-minute arrival lecture. You can find the audio of that lecture, and you can actually hear Prabhupada as he's speaking. It's and then he went on, and from there he went to Bhaktivedanta Manor, where he also went into ecstasy on the Vyasasan. And then he went to Tehran, and then he went to Mayapur. And in Mayapur, in the arrival lecture, he also went into ecstasy in Mayapur. Every time he would just be looking on the altar and seeing Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. And they fulfilled the mission. And Prabhupada himself, he understood he had done it. And he said that in his room when he arrived, just to 4 or 5 devotees that were there. Everyone was glorifying Srila Prabhupada and what he had done and how beautiful the Lotus building was. And of course, Prabhupada credited, he said, Krishna has done. He said, I had an idea, but Krishna has done it. And then he said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur had predicted that everyone would be coming to Mayapur speaking different languages, he said. And he said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur predicted it. He said, my spiritual master, he predicted. And he said, that person I may be. And right after he said that, he looked at Jayapataka and he said, so you're growing banana trees? So he just gave very, very short and told everyone he was that person. And he was just overwhelmed day after day after day during that time, to the point that 500 devotees were there in Mayapur for the festival in 1975 that had come from all over the world. So whatever it was, but he saw that these predictions were all fulfilled by that time. 10 years. Prabhupada had done everything within those 10 years. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions you'd like to ask? Anyone? Okay, I'll just conclude with this one anecdote from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was in Bombay, and he was staying in the home of one well-wisher, early well-wisher, who became one of our early life members, named Kartikeya Mahadevya. Yeah. So when Srila Prabhupada was there, he received a phone call from the temple president from our Calcutta temple. It's the same temple we have in Albert Road now. Yeah. And the temple president informed Srila Prabhupada that one of his oldest disciples, who was in Calcutta, had fallen into some difficulty. And Srila Prabhupada asked him what type of difficulty. He said he went back to an old habit of smoking ganja, marijuana. Yeah. Then Srila Prabhupada told the temple president that you tell him that if he does not stop smoking ganja, I will reject him. Like that. Then Srila Prabhupada got off the phone. Like that. So His Holiness Krishna Goswami was nearby, and then he asked Srila Prabhupada, it's the first time I heard you say that you're going to reject someone. You never said this before. Like that. Now, Srila Prabhupada, is it true that you will reject him if he doesn't stop smoking ganja? Like that. Then Srila Prabhupada said, in a very, compassionate, humble, soft voice, he said, no, I cannot reject anyone. Then Tamal Krishna Goswami, he likes to probe, he likes to push Prabhupada. He has that relationship with Prabhupada. He pushed Prabhupada. So Tamal Krishna Goswami questioned. He said, Srila Prabhupada, but don't you have to draw the line somewhere? Is there not some limit? Although you said on the phone that you reject him, but actually you don't want to do that. We know that. Because if Prabhupada said that, then the person may come right and stop smoking. But even if he doesn't, Prabhupada said, no, I will not reject it. But isn't there, you have to draw the line somewhere? There must be some limit. And Prabhupada said, no. The mercy of Lord Nityananda is unlimited. So that's how we know that Prabhupada is the personification of the compassionate nature of Lord Nityananda. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Nityananda Balaram ki, Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Tathai Gaur Premanande. So I believe there will be the Abhishek beginning at 13. Hare Krishna.